This is Ask Todd on the Financial Exchange Radio Network. If you have an existing estate plan or are in the market for one, Todd Lutsky is here to answer your questions and help you plan for later life. Ask Todd is presented by Cushing and Dolan, serving Massachusetts and New England for more than 35 years, helping families with estate and tax planning, Medicaid planning, and probate law. Visit CushingDolan.com. Now, here's Todd Lutsky.
As promised, we're joined now by Mr. Todd Lutsky from the law firm of Cushing and Dolan for Ask Todd. As always, it's your chance to ask Todd your estate planning questions. So we've got the phone lines open. The number here is 888-205-2263. Get calling if you would like to ask Mr. Lutsky a question about your estate plan. That number again is 888-205-2263. Mr. Lutsky, how are you today?
I am doing well. You?
In the midst of a little bit of a home improvement kick at the moment.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trying to put some stuff up on the walls inside the house.
Yeah.
And I'm a little frustrated. My dad is refusing to teach me the right way to straighten a picture.
Yeah.
And I really wish he would just level with me.
Yeah, that's good.
It's been tough. Again, talking with Todd Lutsky. If you've got a question about your estate plan for Todd, the number is 888-205-2263. Get all queued up, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. 888-205-2263. Todd, I want to talk a little bit about heading into year end. Are there ways that people can, cluster gifts and really, package them up to try to maximize the value that they can get to someone heading into year end by, straddling the years? How can we get as much money to an individual as possible through gifting?
Yeah, so there's actually a couple of ways you can, we'll call it leverage your gifting, for lack of a better term. So one,
sure.
if you're of the mindset that, I don't need to make huge gifts, I just want to make, the more present interest exclusion level gifts. Let's talk about that. That's the amount that right now is $17,000 per year per person without having to file a gift tax return, without having to report anything. You just write the check and hand it to your child or hand it to whoever it is that you want to give the asset to, and you're done with it. And so it doesn't eat into your exemption or anything. And it's going to be $18,000 in 2024 or January 1. So you're right. In terms of straddling the year, a lot of people might say, you know what? I've got, 3 kids. I've got 3 grandkids, and I'd like to make a gift. Well, you technically, if you're married, can take $17,000 times 6. And if you have a spouse, another $17,000 times 6. So you can move a lot of money tax-free. You do one now and one January 1. And so you've done it 17 times 6 times 2. And then you can do it again.
Which is $204,000, by the way.
Good. You're good with the math. And then, by the way, you could do 18,000 times 6 times 2 in January 1. And wow, in a matter of 30 days, right, give or take, you've moved a lot of money.
$420,000.
Tax-free, no eating into your exemption, absolutely nothing to report, no tax returns to file, just write the checks and move forward. So, amazing.
Talking with Todd Lutsky from the law firm of Cushing and Dolan. The segment is Ask Todd, and it's your chance to ask Todd your question about your estate plan heading into year end. What better time to do so? The line here, the phone number is 888-205-2263. That number again is 888-205-2263. We're going to take a quick break right now, but get calling during that break, and we'll get to your calls right on the back end of it. Again, that number is 888-205-2263. One last time, 888-205-2263. Quick break, then your phone calls with Todd Lutsky.
Ask Todd with Todd Lutsky every Wednesday at 10:30. Only here on the Financial Exchange Radio Network. Todd Lutsky answers your questions about estate and elder life planning every Wednesday at 10:30, right here on the Financial Exchange Radio Network.
All right, let's get right to your questions. We've got Tom in Charlestown queued up first. Tom, you are on with Todd Lutsky.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question involves the gift tax and the federal state tax.
Uh-huh.
Is it, when you file a gift tax return, is it basically just a reporting return so that at some point you're creating a record that's going to be used against your federal exemption if and when you file a federal state tax return?
That's not a bad way of looking at it. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and does Massachusetts have a similar setup for gifts?
So great. Two questions. One, I'm going to start with the last one first because it's easier. Massachusetts has zero gift tax. So there is no state other than Connecticut that has a gift tax in and of its own for a state gift tax. So Massachusetts, no state gift tax. However, be wary. In Massachusetts, if you have made a federal taxable gift, meaning more than that $17,000 that we talked about earlier today, and you file, so if you made a $117,000 taxable gift, back out to 17, $100 is taxable. Massachusetts would have to reduce its exemption by $100,000 on the estate side. So the Massachusetts estate tax exemption would go from $2 million, which is the new number, down to $1.9 million. So it would be reduced. So don't feel like there's no impact in Mass. There's no gift tax in Mass, but you do have to reduce that threshold, that filing threshold exemption by the taxable gift. Now, to the federal side, when you make a federal tax of that same, say, $100,000 taxable gift after backing out the $17,000 freebie that you get, when you make that, you report that on a 709 for a $100,000 gift. Now you say, well, geez, do I owe taxes? Yeah, the giver would have to pay tax. But the giver has a $12,900,000, $920, I believe. Let's just call it $13 million for easy numbers. If you have a $13 million federal estate tax exemption, right now we also have a $13 million gift tax exemption. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So you just simply eat into that when you make your taxable gift. So the $100,000 shows up on the 709. It reduces your gift tax exemption by $100,000. So now you have $12,900 left. It also, as you said, quite frankly, correctly, Tom, it reduces your federal exemption from $13,000 to $12,900 as well. So yes, it is keeping track of that when you make these gifts as well. But at least no gift tax is due, folks. It is almost the end of the month, so I'm going to even say it right now. It's like the last chance almost ever to get this new guide that we're giving away. It's not so new anymore. Making the most of your gifting, right? Because it's not easy to gift. It is easy to write a check, but you need to understand the gift tax rules, the estate tax benefits of gifting if you are giving for a reason to reduce your death taxes, the income tax effects that you could be creating while giving away highly appreciated assets with a low basis. You could be creating capital gains tax problems for your beneficiaries. And then, of course, how to give it away, maybe into a trust rather than dumping it in the hands of a child or a beneficiary where you can control it and protect it from future creditors. Don't just write checks, folks. Get the guide, Making the Most of Your Gifting. It's almost gone for the month. 866-848-5699 or legalexchangeshow.com. You can download it there. One more time, 866-848-5699 or legalexchangeshow.com.
Got another one for you, Todd. Let's go to Patrick in Drake. Patrick, what is your question for Todd Lutsky?
Hi, I appreciate taking the call.
Sure.
I'm an older gentleman, hopefully not that old, 71, married, own my own home, and owe $85,000 on a duplex that they're saying, whatever, $600,
sure,
$650. I'd go with conservative. I'm just saying,
yep,
$5 in a bad case scenario. I'm out there and I'm looking to speak with somebody. I don't have anything. I don't owe any debt. I drive.
Well, what's the question? What are you trying to?
The question is, I need to sit down with somebody. I want to somehow be able to leave my daughters my homes.
Okay.
And that's what I'm looking to do.
So if that sounds like your biggest asset, and it may be, it is for a lot of people, their homes are their biggest assets. In this case, a multifamily sounds like where you could actually use it for rental. So it's a great asset to keep. And so in order to do that, I don't know what the overall estate is, but I'm going to guess as a married couple, that you're probably under the $4 million new Massachusetts exemption threshold. So maybe estate tax planning isn't overly important, but it is. It never hurts. So the bigger issue here at 71 is maybe I want to protect it for my kids and for each other. I always take care of each other first. So I would suggest sitting down with somebody to learn about irrevocable trusts, protecting it from the nursing home, avoiding probate, and keeping control over it while you both are alive. But again, ensuring that it's not taken unnecessarily, not even so much by taxes, but by the uneventful nursing home type claim. And then it will get to your family with a step up in basis when you die, eliminating the built-in gain that probably exists on this property if you bought it earlier. So I think for you, basic estate planning, learn about irrevocable trusts will go a long way in accomplishing exactly what you're looking to do.
Got one more queued up for you here, Todd. We've got David in Sandwich. David, we only have a couple minutes, so I have to be quick here, but what's your question for Todd Lutsky?
Hi, Todd. Good morning. My question is this. I've got about $3.5 million in mostly all IRAs. I'm a couple of years away from retirement. How do I protect it for my kids?
Well, I assume there's other assets other than the IRA, because IRAs are the hardest asset to protect, right? I don't know what other assets you have. I'm going to assume a home. I'm going to assume some non-qualified money, some, and maybe non-qualified investment accounts and the like. So depending on the total size of your estate, obviously with a $3.5 million IRA, we know we're darn close to that $4 million exemption amount for Mass. So at least learning about, if it's nothing else, revocable trust to avoid probate and eliminate or reduce your Massachusetts death tax and maybe your federal death tax at the same time would be an option for you. And we can talk about how to designate the beneficiaries on the IRA. It's a little complicated for radio, but how to designate the beneficiaries on the IRA to a trust in order to shelter it for estate tax purposes, and how in your case, quite frankly, a joint trust, depending on the size of your estate, might be the way to go. Because with a joint trust, you can put all of your other assets into it, both you and your wife, meaning everything but the IRA, and cram all of that down on the first death to shelter those assets from being taxed when the survivor dies, and allowing the IRA to simply flow over to the spouse, because that's the best from an income tax perspective. And then that spouse can have it designed to go into this joint trust when the spouse dies. And again, with that kind of money, I'm thinking if I'm leaving it to my kids finally, that I'm figuring out a way to protect it from future divorces, creditors of the children, and maybe even make its way down another generation to the grandkids. And so this joint trust can be designed to do that as well. From a nursing home perspective, not sure if that's going to be the easiest asset to protect. Would need to know a little bit more about your other assets. But at a bare minimum, a joint revocable trust can go a long way to reducing and eliminating certain estate taxes and providing for your family in really a protection and divorce-proof generation skipping kind of way. So I hope that helps a little.
Mr. Lutsky, thank you so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure.
The views expressed in this segment are solely those of Cushing and Dolan. Armstrong Advisory does not provide any legal or tax advice. Please consult with your legal or tax advisor on such matters. Cushing and Armstrong do not endorse each other and are not affiliated. This has been Ask Todd on the Financial Exchange Radio Network. Ask Todd with Todd Lutsky has been presented by Cushing and Dolan, serving Massachusetts and New England for more than 30 years, helping families with estate and tax planning, Medicaid planning, and probate law. Call 800-393-4001 or visit CushingDolan.com.